Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things. Hey, I am giving you a January roundup and February TBR. I've got peppermint iced coffee. Should I be drinking coffee right now? Probably not. It's like 6:30. But I wanted to make this video real fast for you, and most of this video is just gonna be pictures overlaid my face, so I didn't get too pretty for you. But that being said, we're gonna take a look at my journal. Also, my kid picked the lighting behind me today. She wanted those colors. So I read. We're gonna take a look at my stats page first. Stats page. I'm gonna update this side, and that will be the picture that you. So I read 14 books. Well, by the time this video comes out, it'll be 14 books. I don't have much of it left. Um, it'll be finished before February. Plus, I would count it as a January book because majority of it was read in January. But it will be finished. So, anyway, 14 books, which was I physically read 1,487 pages, and that's 62 hours and 55 minutes. That was 451 chapters. I owned 6 of those books. I borrowed 3 from the library. I have 5 of those books on Audible. So the ones that I have, but I decided to listen to, I counted them as owned and Audible. It gets a little confusing because, like, I have some books in book form, in physical copy. Like, I have the Dresden Files, or okay, so like I have Frankenstein book form, but it was free to listen to, so I decided to listen to it. So I counted it as both. And I read 4 NetGalley books. Um, I wasn't sure if I should put those as owned because sometimes when they get archived, don't have access to them anymore, and sometimes they stay in your library shelf. I don't. So I didn't count them as owned. I just counted them as NetGalley. The longest book that I read was A Winter's Promise. And that was 490 pages. 490 pages, guys. It took me a long time to read. And the shortest book that I read was The Highly Sensitive Rabbit, and that was 32 pages long. Yes, that was a children's book, but it was also a book that I was reviewing for NetGalley. So it's counted, okay? It's counted. I'm not counting all of the little books that my kid is like, "Here, mom, can we read this before bed?" Um, off of my reading challenges, I read The Girl Who Ignored Ghost by Casey Tansley off of my adult reading challenge. And I read Bunnicula by Deborah and James Howell off of my preteen teen reading challenge. I did not read any of my Paper Pie challenge books because I forgot to order them, and then things happened and I haven't ordered them. Um, and I read one book for my book club, which was Dead of Night by Lisa Gray. On my A to Z challenge, I'm sorry. Um, I'm really excited about the A to Z challenge. It just makes me so happy, and then the color challenge too, the rainbow challenge is they just make me happy. Um, I've got D. Oh, I didn't add Frankenstein. Okay, well, I have a D, F, G, I, K, L, S, W, and X. All taken care of. I could have had T also, but I really didn't like the book that started with a T that I read, so I didn't wanna put it on my alphabet challenge unless I absolutely had to. Um, and then for my color challenge, look at that. Like, halfway there. So we have The Turn of the Screw. I might be changing that one. I didn't like that book, but it had a yellow cover, so it went in the yellow spot. Funicula went in the brown spot. Um, X Marks the Haunt went into my blue spot, but I might be changing to A Winter's Promise, because it's more blue. Um, I saved the picture. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna do that. And then, letter 26 is in the green, and then we have Impact Winter. That might not stay there, I'm not sure, but I really liked Impact Winter. So, when you look at the picture for the book online or on, like, your screen, it looks gray, but when I printed it out, it came out a light blue, so I put it in light blue. Stormfront went in the black section, and so far Killjoy is what I've put in my white section. Um, I finished a series. I finished the Impact Winter by Travis Mann. Um, Technically, I only had 1 book to finish whenever we started the year, so it went on. And then I read a Dresden File book, which is Stormfront. I've read 2 books from The Good Girl from in The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That one down. Oh, that's because I did that at the end. Okay. Sorry, got confused. I had marked off A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because I listened to it in December. So, my brain was like, why didn't you review that in your book?" Uh, and that is the only thing I've added to and Killjoy, was added to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Um, if you look at my little, book shelf here, I forgot what it's called. Um, I have the thir 14 books colored in. I have 14 books colored in, and, I tried to make them all different colors, and I tried to write the titles on all of them, but it you know what? It'll happen. And my book of the month was Impact Winter. I loved the whole series. Like vampires, you should definitely or like not just vampires, but like girl power, apocalyptic, yeah, dystopian. This is definitely something for you. Um, what else? What else? My Goodreads challenge. I have Page Turner. Um, which you needed to read 2 books for, and I got that really early on because I listened to Impact Winter and Stormfront, and then I had Speed Reader, which Impact Winter, Stormfront, and Killjoy went towards, and then Book Boss, which you needed 5 books read before March, I believe, and, just to add X Marks the Haunt and Highly Sensitive Rabbit to that, and I got it. I have done the challenge faves. I actually did this one by accident. Um, I've been trying to more classics because I feel like I'm trying to get more well-rounded in my reading. Mostly I read horror, mystery books, like thrillers and cozy mysteries, and trying to get more rounded. I have read Frankenstein. I did read it in high school. I don't remember any of it, but I read it in high school. And my friend, she was like, "Hey, I'm listening to Frankenstein." And I was like, "Cool. As soon as I'm done listening to the book I'm listening to, I'll listen to it also." And so I listened to it, and I track my stuff on Goodreads and on Storygraph. And when I was done with it, it was like, "Cool, you got another you got another challenge done." And I was like, "What?" Um, and then I also got Star Selections, and I read Darkly for that one. Once if I ever get to read Anxious People, that's gonna be going to the lasting reads since I already need to read that one for my adult challenge. Um, and then I'm listening to In the Lives of Puppets, um, but I just started that one, so it's gonna be counted in my February. What I had predicted for myself to read my January TBR, I had put on here A Winter's Promise, Anxious People, The Girl Who Ignored Ghost, Bunnicula, Double Felix, Dead of Night, Tornado Brain, Darkly, X Marks the Haunt, Stormfront, and Killjoy. That's 11 books that I was like, these are the 11 books that I want to read. And I read 8 of those 11, but what I actually read is 13 books. So I count that as a win because I couldn't get Anxious People. I don't have Double Felix yet. My friend gave me Tornado Brain, but I haven't had time to read it yet. Um, what I read was The Girl Who Ignored Ghosts, Impact Winter 3, which wasn't even on my list for TBR, but I was like, I listened to the other 2 books. I might as well listen to this too. Stormfront, Frankenstein, Killjoy, X Marks the Haunt, The Highly Sensitive Rabbit, What Boys Learn, Darkly, Bunnicula, A Winter's Promise, The Turn of the Screw, and Dead of Night. So A Winter's Promise was on last year's adult reading challenge, so I got it done. And I'm going to go through and tell you my star rating for each of the books and if I think give them a try. So, Impact Winter, well, technically I listened to Impact Winter 3 because I had already read the other 2. Um, I gave this 4.5 stars, and yes, yes, I think you should listen. Actually, what I said was, "This is book 3 in a dystopian vampiric series. I listened to this on Audible. It's fully cast. There are so much emotions in this book, and I cried just a little bit, just a smidge. I'm not gonna tell you why because it's a spoiler. Alex loves Darcy, and that's a great thing. Okay, and then for Killjoy, we have 4 stars, like 3.75. It's a young adult book, okay? So it's a little young adult. Um, it's a prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and this is Pip's friend is having a murder mystery party, and she's like, I don't want to go. This is stupid. And then when she gets there, she's all in. She's, oh my gosh, I gotta find the clues. I gotta solve the case. And yeah, um, you're feel free to pause on these pictures so that you can read my reviews. You don't have to. I know I have really bad handwriting sometimes. Um, then I listened to Stormfront. Stormfront is always gonna be higher. This one I give a 4 stars. Yes, I recommend. I recommend because because the whole series is great. Okay, as a whole, the series, I wanna live there, kind of. No, if I have magic, I would like to live there. How about that? That works. Um, the Harry is a wizard. He's also kind of a private detective. Um, he works with as a consultant for the Chicago PD, and 2 he's on 2 cases. Okay. X marks the haunt, 4 stars. Yes. 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 So far this year's been a great reading year. Okay. Also this is one of my NetGalley books, but it's out now. Um, so it's available for you to get. Ouch, just hit my hand. This is about an 11-year-old boy who his mom owns a graveyard, and they just do, like, the burial stuff. They don't do it's not the mortuary. And, it's also, uh, arbory? I think I said archerary the other day, and that's not it's a tree place also. And there's a bully, and he disturbs a grave, and stuff kind of goes from there. Um, emotionally sensitive kids, found friends, it's really good. Okay, highly sensitive rabbit. I gave this 4.5 stars. This is a children's book. Yes, it was a NetGalley arc. Um, yes, you should definitely read this to your kids. It talks about this rabbit is different from his siblings, and his mom is always like, "Well, go play with them, go talk to them, go interact with them." And this rabbit's like, "They're different than I don't like to do what they like to do." And after talking to some other animals, we learn that it's okay to be different. The next book that I listened to was What Boys Learn, and this one I gave a 3.5 stars. Oh, do I recommend it? Maybe, yes. I put yes on here, but it really depends on if you're okay with some of this talk. This book was more about the mom of a boy and stuff that she's gone through. Um, I got this on NetGalley. I believe it's out now. I can't. I don't know. Just check the trigger warnings, okay? I don't know how to explain it without giving the book away. But there is a lot of kind of like boys will be boys and girls should be submissive kind of talk in this book. And I think that's why I gave it such a low rating, but at the same time, our main character upset me, and we're just gonna move on, okay? The next book that I listened to this one, yeah. Darkly. Oh, I liked this book a lot. I feel like there needs to be a second book. I would stay in this world. Yes, maybe. Maybe. Yes, maybe. Um, because this this book has a lot of puzzles and clues, and think somewhere between Nancy Drew and Ready Player One, and uh there was more to that sentence. I lost it. I'm sorry. Um, the end of this book made me angry. That's all I'm gonna say. If you pause the video and can read my little review, there are spoilers in my reviews, so please be careful. Benicula, 3.5 stars. Well, 3.75 if you go on um Storygraph. That's what I gave it there. Yes, I recommend this. 100%. It's Benicula. It's a cute little vampire bunny, okay? And yes. Just yes. Um, just yes. I don't think you'll be able to read that one. Now, I wrote that I wrote in bright orange on that one. The next book I physically read was A Winter's Promise, and I gave this three stars. Now that I keep thinking about it though, so I might give it like a 3.25 stars. I have to go back in and fix it. Would I recommend this? Maybe. Um, a lot happens in this book is too long. This book that was my problem. The book was too long. I thought that the story would have been good, and the premise of the book was good. But I felt like it was too wordy, and I felt like we were just sorta stuck. Like, I mean, like, in the book, she is kinda stuck, but she doesn't start stand like, she just made me so angry, okay? And the whole premise of the book also made me angry, but it was good at the same time because it made me angry, but it was too long. It just got kinda stagnant halfway through the book, and it took me a long time to get through it. But I wanted to read it because I wanted to know what happens, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick up the second book. I might if I might. I'm not positive yet. But, this girl, Ophelia, she has 2 different kinds of powers, which is rare for her family. There's a lot of if if you actually listen, there is a lot of inner family, and that grosses me out just a little bit. But because she keeps turning down her cousins, when an offer from a different place comes in, someone who's not physically related to her, um, the powers to be that are in charge are like, yes, you. And she's kind of treated like a slave or like an underling, and I did not like it, and it took her way too long to stand up for herself, especially since she has to be at least 21 because she had her own shop and all of that stuff back at her house. Anyway, it wasn't bad. It just was too long and it got stale in the middle until things started getting more exciting. The next book I read was The Turn of the Screw, and I know there are gonna be people out there like, "Oh my gosh, this book is so good. It's, literally classic and all of that stuff." I did not like it. I give the star it's like a 2.75. If you look at the picture, it looks like I colored it in all the way, but I really didn't have a choice. Um, maybe. Maybe read this if you're okay with talking in circles and not getting any full answers. Not anything ever. And, that's pretty much it was just you never get a definite answer if there was ghosts or not, and did she never mind. That's a spoiler. I'm just like, I don't know what I listened to. Okay. Like, it maybe I'm not smart enough for it? I don't know. But, I was not a fan of this book, and I do have a favorite quote from it. They're talking, and she never went back to church, and the kids and the maid, I don't know who she is, I don't remember. They're like, where were you?" And she's like, "Oh, I ran into a friend." And they're like, the maid lady goes, "A friend? You?" And she's like, "Yes, I have a few." I was and then look, because I had read 10 books, I decorated a whole 2 pages with dragons. I love dragons, they're so cute. And, I've got hoarding books like treasure, and my friend the reason why I chose dragons is because my friend gave me this sticker, it says, I'm a book dragon, not a worm." And then I have this other one up at the top over here, it says, "I read because burning villages is frowned upon." Um, yeah. So I gotta be honest, I found most of these pictures off of Pinterest, and yeah, sorry, but, I saved all of them so that if anyone wants to know where to get them, I can go and look and then give you the information on the person. Then I read Dead of Night. This was the book club my book club read. Um, 4.5 stars, guys. This book was good. Yes, you should read it. Did not see the ending coming. What the heck did what? Mind blowing, okay? Okay, not mind blowing. It wasn't that great. But everything was really good until the very, very end. The just all up and connected all together. I felt like that part was really rushed and it was just like, and this happened, and that's why. And we didn't really get any reason, like how or anything like that. But there were a few different um crimes in this book that I was like, "Oh, yeah." And I just love the quote, "Tell me about the murder." "What?" "Oh, I'm not sure how to break this, but a murder mystery usually has a murder in it." And then I read The Girl Who Ignored Ghosts. I gave this a 4 stars, and yes, I recommend it. I am gonna be picking up the second book once I find the second book. Um, yeah, it it was good. I've done a review on this, so I'm not gonna go talking too much about it. Then I listened to Frankenstein. I could have physically read this book. I have the book. Um, but But, it was free to listen to on Audible, so I listened to it instead, and I had stuff to do, like, I've been working on getting the Christmas stuff put away now that it's almost February. Um, I gave this a 3.5 stars, 3.7 maybe, like, do I recommend it? Yes, because I feel like everyone should know about Frankenstein and the real story behind Frankenstein since everyone only remembers the movies. Um, just note that this book was written by a female who was in her teens, and that was before her time, before females were really writing. Okay, so I put this book is really dramatic. Okay, and our main character he kind of faints or passes out, blacks out a lot. Also, it's a story being told. It Frankenstein is his story to a ship captain who is writing it down to send to his sister. So he's telling somebody else's story to his sister. And in Frankenstein's story, he tells the monster's story, and the monster told him about the story of the family. He was kinda squatting behind the house instead of. So it's like a story and a story and a story and a story, and then you come back to our captain guy, and it when we popped back to the captain at the end, I was like, "Whoa, wait, right, okay." Like, "What who are you?" Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. Um, it had I mean, I know that it was amazing at its time whenever it was made, but I think maybe I don't know, maybe I'm I don't know. I liked it. Okay. And then, letter 26, um, I'm gonna say maybe right now because I haven't finished it, so right now I would say yes. Right now, I'm about 75% of the way through, and I would say yes. I think it's good. Um, it's about a man who is kidnapping people who work okay, I don't know I don't know how to explain this. Okay, so, like, he kidnaps people whose profession starts with a letter of the alphabet, and he's working his way around the alphabet. And, so, like, for A, he had they're all females. For A, he kidnapped an architect that was a female. For kidnapped a female cook, and so on and so forth. And, our main character is, oh my gosh, what is she? Her profession starts with a I feel like it's a dietitian, but I might be wrong. Um, it's a D. And before she's kidnapped, they her and her friends are joking. Her and her friend joke that, "Oh, well, you gotta be careful because, there's only the letter D left." And, like, okay, like, we're the most boring profession there. Not gonna find out that he's not just kidnapping the stuff to them. I can't tell you what stuff that is because it will ruin part of it, but there is some I don't wanna say body horror, but it kind of is. I guess it kind of falls under that. Anyway, so far pretty good. And in the beginning of the book, after she's kidnapped, she's like, "Oh, what about my cat? My cat needs to be fed. I don't care if I get fed. I need my cat to be fed." And I was like, "Oh, don't I know you?" Yes. Um, I loved it. Okay, so that is all of the books that I've listened to or read in January 2026. Oh wait, I did I tell you about my graveyard? I haven't left any books, but I have three reread on my list that I've read before, and so I wrote them down. And that's Stormfront, Bunnicula, and Frankenstein. So there is those. Now let's talk about my TBR for February. Ready? Okay. So my TBR has 10 books on it. Only 10. I put Pride and Prejudice on here because it is in my classic section. I know I could have put Frankenstein in there. I don't have space for that. Um, The Way of Shadows will be read this month. I have it in book form. Dancing in the Streets, I will read that book this month. Upside Down Magic, I know that my library has this one, so if I can't get it on Audible or through Libby, I will be getting it through the library. I should be reading Izzy the Inventor and the Unexpected Unicorn if my books come in before the end of February. I'm not sure when I'm gonna be able to order them, so cross your fingers. They're not that one and Double Felix isn't a long book. They aren't long. They're children's book. They're like maybe 90 pages. Um So, those are gonna be easy reads. I want to read Fourth Wing. Yes, I said that. Fourth Wing. Everyone else has read it, so, my friend keeps telling me that I should read it, and since she says it's good, I'm gonna have to just read it. I'm just gonna have to suck it up and join the club. Um, I am going to read The Girls Who Play Dead, because that is in my NetGalley to be read before March because they come out in March. Or it comes out in March or April. I don't remember. The Last Thing She Ever Did. I'm gonna be reading that one. Uh, I put book from Dresden Files. That could be one or two books right there. Um, oh, you know what I didn't put on here? The book that I'm already listening to. The Secret Life of Puppets. Secret Life of Puppets? Is that what it's called? Maybe. And then Burn the Kingdom Down because that's also a NetGalley read for me that I need to read. I am going to try to also fit in one of the other books that's on my series tracker. Maybe I will try to find one of these through Libby and see if I can listen to them if I don't already have them on Audible. And then I don't know what else I'm going to be reading for the Goodreads challenge yet. So that is what I read in January and what I plan on reading in February. Um, what did you read? What did you read the book? Have you read any of the books that I've read? And are you doing my reading challenges with me? If you aren't, If you aren't and you want to, I will put them in the description so you can get them. They are free Google Docs. You can print out. This is what I'm working on this year, making myself a priority. Um, I've already done 2 face masks this year, and I've started working out. They're like not really workouts, but I'm also been doing some workout things with my kiddo, 'cause she won't do gymnastic stuff unless I do it with her. So, we've been doing wall crawls and little hoppy things. Um, I don't know what they're called, but we've been working on stuff. I forgot what I was talking about before. Um, I are you reading do you have a reading plan for February? Um, have you read any of the books that I'm gonna be reading in February? Let me know if they're good, bad, what you thought. Don't give me any spoilers. I'm not a big fan. Yes, by the way, audiobooks are reading. You're getting the knowledge, your brain. My eyes work and I know how to read words. So I don't need to physically read everything to get the knowledge to my brain. And if I feel like I didn't retain a book that I listened to, I'll listen to it a second time. Easy. Um, uh, I'll listen to it a second time faster. um, do you keep reading stats like I do? We should be friends on Storygraph. I'll leave my Storygraph in the description so we can follow each other. And I don't know what else to talk about. I don't um how's your weather? It's nice. It was nice today. Me and my kid went for a walk. We just needed long sleeve, a light sweater. Um okay. Like this video if you like this video, comment below on any of the stuff that I've asked about so far, and subscribe. If you're not sure if you've made it this far and you're not already subscribed, you should subscribe. And if you're not sure if you want to subscribe, go to my channel. Um, it might my face circle might pop up somewhere. If not, you can just click on a coffee drinker's review and go check out my other videos to see if I'm someone you want to subscribe to. And then subscribe. And share this video because sharing is caring. And look, I put makeup on. So I won't scare the person you share this with. That is all I have to talk about. Come back because I'm gonna do a Met Galley video next. And Yeah, I don't know what my other book situation is yet because, like I said, I still don't have access to anxious people, and I'm getting anxious about it, okay? I will see you on my next video. Bye.